Folks, let us move ahead to know more about these explorers of knowledge, the scientists, the 10 explorers of knowledge, which we discussed in the last video. We'll start understanding about each one of them in more details and the words derived from the roots from these words were derived. The first one is the anthropologist, and anthropologist comes from the root anthropos, that is mankind, plus logos. And anthropology is science or study of the human development. And the person studying evolution of human beings, human development, is known as an anthropologist. Anthropologist, as written here, is the one who studies human race and the evolution of the human species. Anthropologist normally would study how Homo sapiens came into existence prior to the present day human beings, how the evolution has taken place. There are so many theories about it. The Neanderthal man, the Homo erectus, and gradually Homo sapiens. Anthropologists also study various developments like when the discovery of fire took place and how it impacted human lives, when was agriculture found, how people of different tribes are different, from where the evolution took place, and so on and so forth. In simple words, if you want to understand what what an anthropologist does the work, there is a classic Sapiens, a book by Yuval Noah Harari. It talks about a brief history of humankind, and it is from the very millions of years before the evolution took place till the present day internet age. It has covered all this evolution in a very, very beautiful manner. And it will tell you exactly what anthropologists do. From anthropologist, if I come to astronomer, it comes from the Greek root astron, that is star, and nomos is nothing but an arrangement, law, or order. Astronomer is the one interested in arrangement of stars and other celestial bodies. Astronomer studies heavenly bodies, stars, and planets. They look at the entire universe. Earth is a small space. Earth is a very smaller part within the entire universe. And it is the astronomer's interest to study all these heavenly bodies, the bodies in the universe, how the movement take place, how the arrangement is there, and how does it impact Earth. The branch of science studied by astronomer is astronomy. Astronomers study such enormous and large distances, like the distance from the Earth to Sun is 149 million kilometers, and the light from the stars travel to Earth at the rate of 300,000 kilometers per second. And from this, the word astronomical, the adjective astronomical is derived, which is large and enormous. Anything which is astronomical is not only related to the distance of these heavenly bodies, but for even in our normal parlance, the word astronomical is used, which means that we are talking about something which is very large. For example, the influence of the pandemic on the government's treasury is astronomical. Not only on the government treasury, but also on human life. The influence of pandemic the after effects of pandemic is astronomical. And now we move to astrology. Astrology comes from a similar root astron plus logos. It is the studies, the influence of stars and its position on human events and earth. Astrologer studies the influence of stars and its positions on human events and earth. In our Gujarati language, it is called a Jyotish, right? It may not be a correct science, but these are the persons who feel that there is a relationship between or influence of stars and its position on human events. Other words from the root astron, which is known as star, is astronaut. Astronaut comes from astron plus knots. Knots is sailor. Astronaut is a sailor among the stars. Wow. Just imagine sailing among the stars. And cosmonaut. Cosmonaut comes from the roots cosmos, which is universe, and nauts, sailor. The astronomer studies the universe, and cosmonaut is the one is a sailor among the universe. Many a times these two words are used interchangeably. Astronaut and cosmonauts are used interchangeably, and we know two Indians, two Indian astronauts, certainly Rakesh Sharma and Kalpana Chawla. The first Indian astronaut, Rakesh Sharma, in 1984 spent 7 days, 21 hours, and 40 minutes in space as a part of joint program between ISRO, which is Indian Space Research Organization, and Soviet Intercosmos Space Program. It was way back in 1984. Just imagine yourself as an astronaut. And coming to nautical, from knots, nautical, which is relating to sailors, sailing, ships, or navigation. A nautical mile is a unit of measurement used in air, marine, and space navigation, and for the definition of territorial waters. What is the sea distance? Generally, we speak in unit as nautical miles. It is 100,000 nautical miles, right? Esther, star-shaped flower, and asterisk, the star-shaped symbol to direct the reader to look for the footnote. We see this asterisk, this symbol, several times in our text, and the moment we see that on a word or on a sentence, we try to look at the bottom of the page, the footnote. Going forward, if I go to disaster, DIS, this is against, it comes from the roots dis and astron is stars. So you can now understand disaster, which is against the stars. Any event which happens against the star is generally not a very good event, and that was the belief in the past, right? And I have put an asterisk on the word disaster, so we feel it. Let us go and read the footnote. In ancient times, anything against star was considered a misfortune, and therefore disaster is nothing but a misfortune. Something not good has happened, is a disaster. Going forward from disaster, from nautical to nomos. Nomos, as we've seen in astronomer, the root is law, order, or arrangement. And there are words from this root, autonomy. Autonomy comes from the root auto plus nomos. Auto is self. Autonomy is nothing but a self-law or self-governance. A self-governing state is autonomous, is known as an autonomous state. A self-governing university is an autonomous university. There are several universities which are autonomous. That means that they create their own curriculum. Their methodology may be different from the general prescribed methodology of pedagogy of teaching of the subjects which are there, right? And metronome again comes from the root metron plus nomos. Metron is nothing but measurement of nomos, that is measurement of order or measurement of time, right? Metronome is nothing but a device that produces an audible sound at a regular frequency. This is the picture of a metronome. So many runners use metronome because at every bip they will move their hand or legs and they will put that frequency based on the timing a runner requires. So metronome is used for several other things as well. It is a device to measure generally the time, measure the frequency. It produces an audible sound at a regular frequency. So with this, friends, we complete this video here. We would be looking at other words in the next video. Till then, goodbye and happy learning.